Hey, everybody, welcome back to Adobe Live. It is so good to see you all. I see so many familiar faces in the chat hanging out with us after Kyle T. Webster's stream. Thank you so much, Kyle. It's always a pleasure to watch you work, my friend. I loved I think that was a monkey in a suit running to catch the bus. I think that's what that was. We were laughing. We were having a good time. But welcome back, folks. My name is VooDoo Val. I'm going to be your host and artist for another episode of the Design Off, and I am joined by my new friend Emmy. Emmy, how are you?
Hey, doing awesome, Val. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to create with you today. Before we kind of jump into everything that we're going to be working on, I'm going to do another quick intro of what the Design Off is, how you folks can get involved, and where you can share your work and stuff with us. So every week, I'm here with an awesome person, and we do some designing and creating along with a theme that we have put together. And today's theme, just like yesterday's theme, is kind of making like a survival pack for being on a deserted island. And this is a theme that can be kind of interpreted in a lot of different ways. You can create items that you would want to have with you, which is easier for, an illustrator or painter like me. You could also do, Emmy, aren't you doing hand lettering? Why don't you kind of explain what you are working on? So for any hand letterers in the chat.
Any of the above. Okay, my hand lettering, I will say full disclosure, I did mostly hand lettering yesterday, and I am switching it up a little bit. But if you go to my Instagram, I will be posting the finished piece sometime in the next couple days. I tried yesterday, but I didn't quite get it done, so I will get it done. But today I'm doing a little bit more of illustration for you guys.
Nice.
Um, I'm taking the theme again, tweaking it just a little bit for me. But it is going to be my, as you can see on the screen, Emi's Island Essentials. So things that if I were going to be stranded on a desert island and for some reason had time and prepare and pack the things that I would bring that I feel like I can't live without. So my survival essentials, so to speak. So that's what I'll be
Awesome.
doing today, switching things up a bit.
Awesome, awesome. And for those of you who aren't hand letterers and aren't illustrators, you can still create for this. If you're more of a graphic designer and you would like to put together some kind of icon or logo or anything related to the theme, you can. If you're a UI UX designer, you could do like what I mentioned yesterday: is create a landing page for where to purchase items you would need for survival on a deserted island. You can literally like bring this in any direction you want. You can bring it in a direction I haven't mentioned yet and kind of run with it and make it your own. Totally cool. We are going to be using this hashtag right to my left. Maybe you're right. I'm not sure. Hashtag Adobe Live Design Off. And basically, you can share your work to Instagram or Twitter because today, before we sign off, we are actually going to be taking a look at social media and checking out anything that you folks post. So feel free to create along with us. It's going to be a blast. And lastly, before we jump into doing some art, just in case there's some brand new folks in the chat, Emmy, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and the kind of art that you do for those who may not be familiar?
Perfect. Okay, I've been drawing since the beginning of time. I joke when I was in the fourth grade, I got in trouble because we were taking our end of level tests, and I would hurry and finish them super fast and then draw pictures just while other people were finishing. So I've always been an artist type. Professionally, I got my degree in marketing, but I wanted kind of a combination between what I was learning in marketing and then how to make things pretty and how to make things make sense. So that's what got me into graphic design, which then led to a love of illustration, which led to a love of hand lettering. So I consider myself kind of like a jack of all trades artist, so to speak, because there are a lot of different things that I'm passionate about and that I love to do. But professionally, I have been running my own design studio, Good Rad Funny, for the past 2.5 years. I started it in 2018, right after I got married, just as a way to throw some passion into something that I really love to do and love to spend my time with. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome, awesome. And something I was thinking about yesterday when you mentioned that you had gone to school for marketing and things like that. That must be like a really awesome um, thing to have studied when it comes to kind of branding and like running your own company. Like that's got to be pretty awesome because I know for me, I don't have a background in anything like that. So when I get
Yeah.
onto Twitter, I'm just like, am I going to post a promo to let everybody
How do I
know
do
what I'm
this?
doing and where I'm going and what I'm about? Or am I just going to um, toss out a sketch and not say anything about it and hope that people are like, yeah, this thing. I don't know. I think that's really cool.
No, it's fun. I definitely could be doing better in terms of what I've learned from my marketing degree, but I feel like you kind of just take pieces of what works for you and then run with it. So
Nice,
it is
nice.
what it is.
All right, well let's jump into some art here. I've got I did add a few more sketches to mine since yesterday because I had like my
Sweet.
goblet and my weird little pyramid shaped terramorpher terraform thing. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. You guys can name this gadget for me, by the way. Essentially, what it does is I imagine in my head is I have this weird sci-fi fictional like item where if I get stranded on a desert island or a deserted island, I can decorate it and like change the different kinds of trees and life forms on that island as if I'm playing Animal Crossing. I can just like make it cool because if we're gonna go fictional with this, I might as well like go all the way into Crazy Town.
Go big
Um,
or go home, Val.
Yes, I definitely need music, so I put a pair of headphones on there. I don't know where I'm getting this music or why I have enough electricity to power a musical device, but not enough power to like get off the island. But that's just how this works. I added myself a lightsaber because if you know me, you know, like, of course I added a lightsaber. Um, I've added a toothbrush and toothpaste because I'm not about that like stick tooth scrubbing life. It's not gonna happen. I got some band-aids on there and I've got a can of off because I feel like every deserted island probably has like a horrendous amount of like mosquitoes or something, and I'm not about to get all bit up. Like I'm gonna enjoy if I'm gonna be on a deserted island, I'm gonna enjoy it as much as possible, and you can't do that with mosquitoes. So,
No,
um,
man, mosquitoes are the worst.
yep, yep. I have like a grand um I guess rivalry with mosquitoes and mosquito hawks or like mosquito eaters. I'm literally like a mosquito, I'll fight a mosquito. When it comes to
Okay.
mosquito hawks though, I'm like I have like a real terror in my heart. Like
Like, don't touch it.
yeah, like they're like these really. If you've never seen a mosquito hawk before, you don't know what I'm talking about. It looks like just a giant mosquito, but it does nothing. It does nothing. It doesn't
Is
eat
that what those are
mosquitoes.
called?
Mosquito hawks, yeah, but people call them
I've
mosquito
never
eaters.
known.
They don't eat mosquitoes.
Hmm.
They don't. They're just like really, really
It's just
large.
false.
Yeah, they look exactly like mosquitoes. They're gigantic. And all they want to do is like put all their weird little feet on your face, and that's it. That's like
Yeah,
the
they're
extent of their
gross.
purpose. I don't know. But I also dislike those, and so on this desert planet or desert island, deserted island, I would definitely bring. I keep saying desert island, and it's
I
not.
do
It's a
too, and then I'm
deserted
like,
island.
that's close, but not right.
But I definitely like, I'm bringing off in a lightsaber. The off is for the mosquitoes. The lightsaber, it obviously is for the mosquito hawks.
See, I feel like your survival kit is way smarter than mine. I'm drawing currently on here, we've got an outline for a can of Fresca because I love Fresca and would not live without Fresca.
Yes.
And then biker shorts. I am going to definitely be bringing my comfiest clothes if I'm living in this. I don't know if I'd call it luxury if I'm on a deserted island, but definitely bringing my comfiest clothes and my favorite food and drinks if I'm going to be stranded for a long time.
You know what? I should probably add some Nutella then.
You better. After yesterday's conversation, you better.
I know, I should probably put it. And I have like such a. It's so weird. I have like such a weird relationship with Nutella because sometimes I'm sick of it, but I still won't
Yeah.
let anybody touch the jar of Nutella because I know that eventually I'm going to like really crave it again, and it better be there like when I go to get it.
You're like, it's going to be a couple months, but if it's not there, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
All right. If I have time and room, the Nutella is definitely going on there. For now, I feel like I should start adding some colors and some details and things. Otherwise, I don't know if I will be able to add all of those before the end of the stream. So I'm going to go ahead and start making this cooler.
I think it is cool as is. But I'm
Thanks.
excited to see what you do with it.
All right, I'm gonna use. I have like a new favorite font that I use.
What is it?
It's called Coven, which I think is awesome.
I was like, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, and it's like the kind of font that I could see being used for like a show, like a spooky show, like
Okay.
I started
Like
watching
American
that
Horror Story
show. Yeah, American Horror Story. I was about to say American Horror Story Coven. That's like my favorite season. But I started watching Lovecraft County the other day, and I could definitely see it being like a title font for that show. It's like crazy. It's crazy cool. So I'm going to use that for the title of this, and I'm going to call this Survival Kit. Call me out if I spell something wrong, because I will. I really will. I'm going to call this Survival Kit, and then in little baby letters underneath that, I am going to say, oops, Deserted Island. As in, like, I don't know, I'm like framing this as if there's going to be like a series of different places that I will need to survive, and each of them will have different items on it. I don't know. That's not really what I'm gearing up to do, but that's what it sounds like the way I'm framing the title of this piece.
Like, that'd be a pretty rad series, though.
Yeah, it would.
So I feel like the things that you would need to survive on a deserted island are going to be much different than the things that you would need to survive in, like, the Siberian desert.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
Am I gonna... So one of the things that I am not good at when it comes to designing is I'm not super good at choosing fonts, and I feel like I'm even worse at like practicing text lockups and stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
And it's kind of weird because on one hand, like, I'm pretty good at like making things that look cool, you know?
Yeah.
Like I have a confidence in that, but kind of knowing fonts and instead of choosing things that I just think are cool, like I pretty much did today, and choosing things that are like, you know, really great as far as design goes, it's actually pretty difficult, or it has been for me. Like, and it's not what people think. Just choosing a cool font and choosing a cool color and just throwing those two things together and locking text up in however manner you feel like. When it comes to actually like creating something that looks cool and looks neat with text combined, it's like much more difficult than I thought it would be.
Seriously.
Shout out to everyone that's super good at using fonts and text and making it look dope and awesome. You are a mastermind.
I feel like that's one of those things. Do you ever, because you're self-taught as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like there are things that I come across that I'm like, this probably would have been significantly easier for me to learn in design school.
Yeah.
I feel like text is one of those things that I'm like, okay, if I had learned this like from a teacher, I feel like it would have taken me a lot less time than frantically searching how to do it on YouTube or how to do it on the Adobe tutorials or any of those things. So
for me, it's like
you learn.
Color theory too. I'm just like,
Seriously.
I'm stumbling around figuring out which colors I want to use on this. I wonder what it would have been like if I had been like trained for this.
Yeah.
And I still I wouldn't say that I regret it, like not going to school and stuff. And maybe someday I will return to schooling and be like, hey, I'm gonna take some time out and I'm gonna study this thing. But for the most part, I kind of I have that thought and I'm like, well, I didn't though, so time to go to YouTube.
So here I am.
Yeah.
Try my best.
Just doing what I can. Hope you like it, internet. And then I
Right.
post without my marketing skills at all and see where it gets me.
Just throw it on the internet and see what sticks.
Someone tell Val that the headphones are pretty much useless unless plugged into something. Listen here, Yawn. I see you being smart in the chat, and I don't know. Did I spell it wrong? I better not have spelled it wrong. Hold on. If I spelled survival. Oh, I did.
Step 1.
Wait. Did I spell it wrong? No, I didn't spell it wrong. Hold on. Now I have to Google it. Survival. Survival.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
That's good. I know. I wish I could see your screen.
Up.
Then I could just tell you. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, definitely didn't spell it wrong. Into lighter. Hey, that would actually be a good. Well, I have a lightsaber though.
I feel like that would be a lighter.
Yeah, I feel like I could.
You can make many fires with a lightsaber.
I can set a lot of stuff on fire with this lightsaber.
Everything.
It would totally work out. So that's yeah. Let me see. I think I'm gonna start adding colors. What kind of colors do you guys think would be cool for this? Lay it on me. I'm gonna let everybody choose colors. Don't doubt yourself, Val. Do it all the time. When it comes to spelling,
Here we are.
Oh, you were just highlighting the fact that Val is in survival. Okay. I was like, but I did spell it that way. Why is Yawn making fun of me?
That can be your new name instead of VooDoo Val. It's Survival.
Yeah, and I'll just turn into Bear Grylls, which we had an interesting conversation earlier, and I'm not gonna bring it up, but Bear Grylls is an interesting man.
Will not be discussed on this live stream.
No. Okay, I am gonna pull up some cool color ref, I think.
That's genius. I did that before we got on here because, as we talked about yesterday, I feel like every time I do a piece, I spend like 15% actually doing it, and then the other 85% wondering what colors I should use.
Yeah.
So I gave myself a nice color palette here to use for this. So I'm just kind of outlining everything before I fill in the color, and then add detail from there.
I feel like I should write like a little weird message at the bottom here because I kind of have like enough room for like some strange scribbles. So I want to write something weird like, yes, I acknowledge that none of these things would actually be available to me on a deserted island, but I'm taking them
like a little
anyways.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already got, let's see, I'm probably not going to be surviving too well, but I will be surviving in comfort with my hoodie and bike shorts and Tevas, and my iPad and pencil will work for 35 seconds on this island, but
wow,
we can dream. So
hey, those 35 seconds are going to be awesome.
Really nice.
Okay, I am literally doing like a little handwritten message. Yes, and it's going to be bad handwriting, but I'm just doing it. Yes, I realize I'm wondering if Keith is in the chat today, because I think every time I have ever like done handwriting on in Photoshop on a stream, he's always like snickered at me because I use like a different handwriting technique like every time I write something. It's like I have 4 handwritings.
I feel like you got to do what one's best for the project, so
yeah.
I think it's fine to have a couple different. So I have a question for you as we are talking, Val, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. No questions.
I am curious.
Sorry.
No. Sorry, only the chat can ask the question.
Only the chat gets to do that.
Well, chat, will you please ask Val? No, I am just curious how you, just like how you ended up finding your style, how you found what you were most comfortable with, your content, just kind of your journey there.
I would say, some of it purely by accident, and some of it just having a little bit of patience, specifically with finding my style. It's something that I've talked about a lot because it's something that I struggled with like so tremendously when I was first getting into art, and I feel like a lot of people, they think that to themselves, like, where is my style coming from and what am I doing to find it and how does it come to me and when do I know
Yeah.
I've made it. But I think that style is a collection of a lot of different things, which are like learning the basics of your chosen profession. You know, if you're an illustrator or a painter or whatever it is that you do, like learning those basics, because when you don't know the basic fundamentals of your trade, then you're basically stumbling through things unaware of what you're actually doing, you know, without any fact and knowledge behind it. So you're going to make a lot of mistakes that don't go into your style. You're just kind of guessing as you go. But if you find
Yeah.
the answers to those questions, after you know how to do what you want to do, then you just start doing it the way that you love doing it the most, instead of, you know, kind of struggling through each project. Um, and there's a lot of different things that go into that, I think. But yeah, kind of learning basic fundamentals, and you know, gaining a little bit of confidence in yourself, making sure you have reference and stuff, because once you have all that stuff squared away, it's really just like, how are you going to approach this project, and then you find a comfortable groove and then you just start doing that. But I don't think there's any moment ever, you know, in a person's life where they're just like, aha, I got you
I've
know,
done it.
a letter in the mail. An owl crashed through my window with the Hogwarts thing that says, surprise, you've got
You've
an
done
art
it.
style now. And it's all yours. Like, I don't think that happens. I think it just, you know, I look at my own art, in my own portfolio, and to me it looks like a collection of artwork done by all different kinds of people, mostly because
Yeah.
I was there during the creation of everything. And you know,
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, I hate this and this and this, and I see all the flaws, but other people say I have a style, and I see style in other people's work who think that they're all over the place. So not really a thing that you can like look at yourself and be like, I've done it. And then as far as like just getting into art in general, I have always loved to do art. Kind of like you said, like I used to get in trouble in school all the time for drawing. I think I turned in more artwork than I actually turned in notes and homework because my papers were covered with drawings.
Yep.
Um, and I started like really getting serious about it when I realized like I want to illustrate for my own stories and stuff. So I started doing
Cool.
that, and the rest has been like an interesting history of me accidentally getting jobs all along the way.
Best way to get jobs.
Yep, just by accident. Also, Daniel Flores is in the chat. Hey, hey, Daniel, I'm going to do a little shout out for you at the end of the stream because I know that you posted some work for the design off that you were here for, so we get to actually see on stream the finished work later on, and I'm
That's
super
sweet.
excited. He says, love catching up with VooDoo Val and the design off. Thank you so much, man, for jumping in here and hanging out. There's someone in here named Excellence. I love it. Definitely getting
Amazing.
Jedi Survivor's Kit vibes. Close. Close. This is a Sith only zone. At least right here. This is that. I'm all for the bad guys because they are way better dressed. Way better dressed.
So true.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Like all the Sith lords and all the bad guys, like they look so slick. They look so
And
dope.
like their helmets are always so sweet. And
And then
yeah.
Obi-Wan's like, "Hello there. I'm in a bathrobe and I'm not I'm not cool at all. I've
It is
got
me, Obi-Wan.
yeah, I've got sand on my sandals." So I'm like, "Why do you always look like you just walked half a mile in a jacket in the heat? What? It's
And
not
it's
cool.
hot. It's too hot.
Way too hot. It's not a good look." And I don't understand it, but that's what they do. To be honest though, Obi-Wan does crack me up. I do love Obi-Wan. He's pretty cool. But I love Obi-Wan because the whole time Obi-Wan's like, I'm a Jedi, but I break all the rules and do what I want.
Right.
And he's, you know, oof, dark side style on point. Exactly, excellence. Jan says Sith happens, indeed. Um,
Amazing.
it's really only the last year or so that I've actually started being conscious of myself when I started with personal projects to know what I'm shooting for. I think I'm kind of the same way, Sam. When I started uh, projects in the past, I was just like, this would be really cool if I did this, and then I would start doing it, and then a lot of them, like, I never really finish. Um, and it's only recently that I was like, hey, maybe I should like really, hold myself accountable and like try and finish these in some way, and work on them with like a plan instead of just like working on them whenever I feel like I have the time. Which it's not bad to do that if that's just, what you can do at the moment, but I feel like sometimes it's good to, like, if you're really serious about a project, is to like kind of keep everything in mind, uh, in your head, and try to really make it something. And when I do that, I feel better about the process. Like, I feel like I am more motivated to it when I kind of schedule things out a little bit. What about you? Like, when it comes to you making work, Emmy, and like working for clients and stuff like that, like, do you kind of just let it happen organically, or are you really strict about like a work regimen?
I think it kind of depends on the work that I'm doing. Client wise, I take illustration clients and graphic design clients. And so my process for graphic design or for illustration or for murals or anything like that is going to be different based on the project. But a lot of times my graphic design projects have a little bit more intentionality with them because a lot of them are branding strategy, um, identity design, so on and so forth. So there's kind of a clear picture at the end of what actually needs to be done and the colors that need to be used in order to make it um, kind of all align and all be cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as illustration goes, a lot of time I find that my clients for illustration are a lot more open to creative interpretation. So a lot of times they'll just say, do what you think looks good and we'll go from there. So with that, I'll have a little bit less stringent of a process, so to speak. Kind of like what you guys are seeing now. I'll kind of outline everything and have a color palette that I like and that I'll use, but I'll definitely tweak as the project goes on and kind of work it until I like what I see and then send it to the client. And if they like it, then we just go from there. So that's
Nice.
pretty much my process.
Nice. That's awesome. Um, I think it's really cool too that you have like so many different kinds of things that you do. Like you said, you're like, I'm a jack of all trades kind of thing. Like, you really have your feelers like out in a lot of different directions. And I wonder if it's like really stressful to have so many different kinds of processes
I would
getting different
say
work done.
yes and no. I think my problem is like I'm good at focusing on things when I need to focus on them. I kind of joke like I have never been formally diagnosed with ADHD, but it would not surprise me if I definitely did have ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like being able to work on so many different projects, it keeps my attention where it needs to be at the time that it needs to be there. So I'll
Nice.
do an illustration project and then be like, man, I really want to do a graphic design project and then work on branding stuff and then work on mural stuff. So it's nice because it keeps my mind engaged and keeps me busy in a way that keeps me productive, I think.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. And I frequently feel the same way, and I think that you're right. Like, kind of when your mind jumps around like that to different things,
Mm-hmm.
it can be really refreshing to first of all have a creative outlet, and then also um, be able to move around to a lot of different things. So you don't feel like you're struggling to stay in one place very still and finish one thing before you can move on to another thing. And it's weird that I frequently also have a lot of different things going on at the same time, for that reason, where I just, But I also find that while some people might find it like super nerve wracking to be moving around in that way,
Hmm.
I find it as nerve wracking as they would to spend time only on the one thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how it works for me.
But I think a huge key too is just being able to organize well
Mm-hmm.
and know where you need to spend your time. Because I think if you are in control of your time and what you're doing, then it helps make all those pieces fall into place a little bit better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I am gonna full screen on yours because you're doing some awesome uh, cursive here, which I don't know about you, but I went through a period of time where I wanted to use cursive only, and so I have like notebooks from school where I tried to use cursive like exclusively until people were like, "Stop." Because not everybody
We
uses
can't
cursive
read
now.
it.
Yeah, we don't know. So I used to use cursive all the time, and I used to like work on perfecting like my cursive handwriting until people were like, don't do that, don't." I'm like, why?
They quashed, is that a word? Squashed?
Quashed.
That's probably the word I was looking for.
I've heard quashed before. Oh, we
Okay,
can use it.
wonderful.
Yeah, we can use
Well,
that.
whatever it is, they ruined your dreams of being a hand letterer.
I know, probably, honestly, because I've tried hand lettering since then, and I'm like, whoa, stick to the
This ain't it.
drawing. What are you doing? Also, Excellence says, any tips to get rid of the perfectionist anxiety? That's a good one. I well, first, do you have anything to kind of say to that? Do you have anything that maybe you do for yourself if you ever get caught up in like perfectionist anxiety? I mean,
I just you'll notice that I smiled when that question was asked
you're
because I
like,
feel
oh
like
no.
that's something that I think everyone struggles with, but no one really talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Is in a lot of different aspects is the anxiety of having to be perfect. You'll notice that my style is a very casual and very imperfect iteration of the world around me, I guess. But for me, it's hard to answer this question because I feel like I'm still learning every single day what I need to do to not feel like everything needs to be perfect, especially in the world of art. There's so many talented people, whether it's illustrators or graphic designers or hand letterers or digital painters. Like, there are so many different amazing talented people, and it's so easy to compare. So something that I have done recently that was a recommendation from another artist was to look for inspiration in places outside of your work specifically. So, like, if you do hand lettering, follow some people who do digital painting, follow some people who do graphic design, follow some runners, follow some Olympian athletes, like follow people who are passionate about something that is not what you do,
Mm-hmm.
and that can help inspire you. I don't know. I think for me, it inspires me to step outside my craft a little bit and recognize that everyone's imperfect, but we're all striving to become better at what we're doing. And we do that through doing things we're passionate about. So it just kind of keeps me grounded and brings me back to square one. So
I actually
that's
think
my
that's
answer.
awesome. That's fabulous.
Thank you.
And I've heard people say that too before, like, kind of break out of the mold of the kind of stuff that you're always looking at, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
and try and do something else. And that's really awesome. I think for me, perfectionist anxiety is definitely like a serious thing with me. And like you said, I know that a lot of people like kind of go through this, and I feel like um, constantly I am looking at something that I've created and I'm not satisfied with it. Kind of, harkening back to what I said earlier when I was like, yeah, every time I look at my own work, I feel like I'm looking at a collection of stuff like done by a bunch of different people. Like I don't feel like I'm looking at my own creations with a style and everything. And so I see that and I feel kind of like lost a little bit sometimes. Um, And the way that I kind of overcome feeling that anxiety of like not feeling like my work is good enough and not feeling like my projects are finished, um, is I just like kind of let the anxiety go in a weird way, and I think of like the worst and best case scenario, but mostly the worst case scenario, and then I wonder if like the thing that I actually fear about it not being perfect is actually as bad as I think it is. Like I'll think, okay, what if this painting is actually as awful as I feel like it is right now? And I post it, and I said the worst thing that happens is somebody says, "Hey, this part of your painting should be improved," at which point somebody gives me the answer to why I was so anxious about the painting. Or maybe I don't get a lot of likes, but likes are such a weird amorphous thing where it doesn't matter how much time you spend on something or don't spend on something, depending on when you post it. You could get tons of attention on a post and not very much of attention, on that post. And so I have long since stopped worrying about like the amount of likes versus like the worth of my art, because that'll drive you nuts. And then I realized that like after those two things, there's nothing else really that worries me about not having done the best job possible on this one piece I'm looking at. And those, they're not that bad. They're not like I kind of run through my head, in that way, and think about all the stuff that scares me until I realize they're not that scary. And then I don't worry about it. It takes a while to do that sometimes, and maybe I don't know if running through a list of your greatest art fears is going to be productive for you, but it's
Not
productive
helpful.
for me. If I think about all the things I'm actually terrified of happening, then I'm like, oh, not so bad. Okay, I got this.
And I feel like when you talk things out too, the things that are inside your head seem a lot less scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that, or the critiques that you have about paintings or about the things that you're doing. I feel like if you actually say them out loud, there's sometimes where it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm freaking out about this, but it there's no reason.
Yep.
It's kind of silly. So
Chad says I've
that's just my
seen
2 cents.
more cruel worst case scenarios than that. I guess I was kind of being like as positive as I could about it, because I think, like
This is
I've
a
said
happy
before.
chat.
Yeah, this is a happy chat. But I've also mentioned before, like the internet can be a strange place. When you're posting your art and people are, very anonymous. A lot of people speak their minds or decide that they may say something unkind just for the heck of saying something unkind. And I've been in those situations a lot. So I'll tell you how I deal with that specifically, because that does happen. And maybe even though this is a friendly chat, we should talk about things that we really do face as content creators who are sharing stuff, and instead of like glossing over it. The way I feel about getting mean comments, and every once in a while I'll post something and I'll get like a weird private message from some obscure Twitter account with no profile picture that was just created 3 minutes ago, specifically obviously to like send me some hate mail. um, and I feel like if a person takes time out of their day to say something to me that is deliberately hurtful, to ruin my mood and make me feel lesser than, they have to be feeling worse than me. You
It's a
know?
good way to think of it.
They have to be feeling like no matter how bad that comment makes me feel, they have to be feeling worse than I do, because they're participating in that and doing it, and they might not know that they feel worse than me, but I think that they do, and so I feel like I'm in order to get past the painful feeling of feeling bad, because sometimes even when I think of that, things still do hurt my feelings. um, I just, rather I tell them or not, I just love them anyways, because if I'm sitting there and I've got like my heart in my hands and I'm like, wow, what this dude just said to me really stinks, um, imagining feeling worse, I'm just like, oh, that sucks. I should be nice to them, and that's what I try to do. So
I think that's a good way to be.
Yeah, I try my best. Doesn't always happen because we're all human, you know. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, my feelers. And then I call one of my friends and I'm like, hey, tell me I'm cool.
I'm sad.
Because this random
Compliment
person
me.
online doesn't think I'm very cool. but but yeah, for the most part, I try to be as positive as I can, and even when people are unkind, I try to think about how they might be feeling, and that usually gets me um, through any unkind messages that I face. Uh, Thanks, Chad. Yo, what's up, Panda Wilson? Also, we've got like a handful of people in here who have been past guests. Panda
Sweet.
is
Thanks for joining, you
here.
guys.
Yeah, uh, we had Daniel Flores in earlier. Welcome in, guys. It's good to see all of you. Also, quick reminder, if anyone has done any cool sketches and stuff with us, please remember to share them on social media. I'm going to be pulling up Twitter and Instagram today and looking at the hashtag Adobe Live Design Off. And we're going to be, I think, looking at Instagram and Twitter. So if you post any sketches, it doesn't have to be like finished, perfect, beautiful masterpieces of art, just anything that you were sketching along with us while we were working, and we're going to be pulling that up and giving you a shout out. And I typically just like go down the line and retweet everybody's stuff to kind of give you guys a little spotlight on not just on Behance, but on social media as well. So please do that, because I'd love to see what you folks are working on. Jan says, question, have you ever posted a work online too soon, aka rushed it and then regretted it afterwards? I do that all the time. I'm sure everyone has felt this feeling where you're like working super late at night and you're like, yeah, that's right, I'm the art master, this is the coolest thing I've ever created.
It is me.
Yep. And then you post it and you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my god, what have I done? What have I posted? And it just looks so bad. Or you get sick and tired of looking at something and you're like, this is good enough, I'm done, I'm not coming back to this. And then you wake up in the morning and you look at your Twitter and you're like, oh no, like I definitely should have slept on this one and come back to it, because now I have more motivation and more ideas, but I've already posted it, it's no longer a secret, and I hate it. It happens all the time.
It does. Now I feel that like the archive button on Instagram is like my best friend, because I feel like a lot of times I'll post something and then do kind of like what you were saying, where it's like, oh, these are ways where it could have been way better. So I'll archive it before as many people can see it as possible, and then try it again in a couple weeks. But that's only happened a couple times. Other times I'll just be like, we'll just leave it. It is what it is. So
That is so
you kind of
funny.
just got to make the judgment call yourself.
That is so funny. But it's very relatable, because we all do that. We all do that stuff. I think the bottom line here, like if you can take anything away from any of this advice, is we are not as alone in the artistic process as we sometimes truly think we are.
That's so true.
No matter if you're at the beginning of your art journey or if you're at like, at a solid portion of your career and you've been doing things for a long time, like we all have a lot of the exact same insecurities and the exact same struggles. And yeah, when you put more time into things and you work a little bit longer in your chosen field, it is easier to find the solutions you need to problems that you face quicker, you know? But it's all still there, you know? We're all still human. We all still think human things and do human stuff and have human insecurities. And I think probably the greatest thing that I ever, like, really came to the conclusion about is that all the people that I follow that I really loved and wanted to be like when it came to art were more like me than I originally thought. And it really is the truth. Let's see. Where do we submit what we're working on for the design off? Just post to Twitter, post to Instagram, and use this hashtag that is right here on the screen. Hashtag Adobe Live Design Off. I'm gonna be checking that tag on Instagram and Twitter, so anything posted there for that will show up. I will not see your work, however, if you only tag me on Instagram or Twitter. So please, you can also tag me. I have no problem with you guys tagging me in the work, but make sure that you also use that hashtag, because I'm not going to be pulling up my personal notifications on stream. I'm only pulling up the tag. There's a can of off. Yeah.
Genius.
Not taking crap from these mosquitoes on this deserted island. No way, no how.
I'm trying my best. I just moved on to my Apple Pencil on this drawing, but this over here, I'm trying to make it not look like fish food because it's supposed to be chicken yellow curry.
That's
Thai
awesome.
curry is some of the best stuff in the entire world. So
it really is.
If you're wondering what that is, that's what it is, and I will label it at a future time. But it's not fish food. Well, that also probably would be good to survive on an island.
Yeah, I was about to say, you may rethink that.
Fish food, Thai food, who knows?
Yeah.
It's up to your interpretation.
I think I love like all of the colors and stuff you are using though. I think it's a great color palette that you've got going on.
Thank you so much.
I'm going with like some weird muted colors, which I don't do a lot of, but I'm kind of pumped about it at the moment. Like I like where this is going. I don't know if I'm going to be able to color everything all at once here for till the end of the stream, because we are going to be stopping earlier so that we can take a look at everybody's work. But I'm definitely going to post this one on social media once I finish it.
Awesome.
Got my can.
I'll do that with mine as well. When this is done, I will actually post it.
Nice. So I'm gonna peek. I'm gonna full screen yours again, and I'm gonna peek over at social media and see if we have got any submissions to go through. There we go. Now I can pull up my top secret browser page with all of the art on it. All right, we got a lot. Man, we got a lot of line art from the Creative Genius,
Awesome.
working on his when he was a guest, because he's continued to like keep up with the project and post it to social media. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see. And then let's see. I know somebody just asked where to share it. JD, I think that was you. You're going to have to get it in pretty quick if you're looking to have it shown on stream, because I am going to come to a stop in a couple of minutes here so that we have ample time to look through social media and also say our proper goodbyes.
Sweet.
Fresca on Fresco. Yes. Yes, Daniel.
Genius.
Amazing.
That is perfect.
Amazing. I love it.
It's one of those, so I guess during Corona there have been like nationwide shortages of some soda across the country, I guess. And Fresca is one of those. And so I've had a 2-liter bottle of Fresca just sitting in my house that I've been like saving for a rainy day that I like will feel comfortable opening once I know that it's back in the store. But it's been probably 3 or 4 weeks since we've seen it in stores where I am. So
wow.
If any of you have Fresca near you, consider yourself lucky.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, though, that you have like a rainy day special Fresca.
That's why it's the survival stash, Val.
Yeah.
I've literally got a survival stash of Fresca.
Amazing. Oh, I love it. All right, keeping an eye on the time here. I am going to pull up social media now, and I am going to check out what you folks have posted. So let me put this little shine on the lightsaber, and then we will be good to go. I had to at least add some color to my lightsaber. Otherwise, I would be remiss. I had to at least color in the hilt, and then later on I will kind of add some more color and things to it. All right, so let me pull up the social media. There we go. I'm gonna refresh this here. All right, yay! We got from Cozy Cute Shop. We got looks like a teddy bear for the Adobe Live design off. Is that you, JD? From Cozy Cute Shop. It looks like let me pop over. I don't actually have. There we go. Now it's showing. So it looks like if Cozy Cute Shop was stranded on a deserted island, they would not be leaving without their stuffed friend here, which is pretty awesome. I think it's super cute. Thank you for sharing. And then we also have the work from the creative genius Delta Tango Mike, and it says complete vector illustration for myths and legends, DTM on the art path. I love it. And this is, some of you may have caught that episode of the Myths and Legends design off with me and DTM, and this is the final project. It looks so cool. I'm just loving this. So much color, so much life. Very cool, man. Thank you so much. Definitely give these guys a follow too. Delta Tango Mike on Twitter, and Cozy Cute Shop on Twitter. I'm gonna refresh this one more time and see if we got anything new. I don't believe so. There's some works in progress as DTM went through his work, and also a live artwork posted this really cool abstract like fish scale design for one of the design offs that came through, which is pretty rad. So thank you for posting that. And then I don't believe we have anything over on the Instagram that we have not already seen. However, I will flip over here and I will refresh the page just in case anything new has come through. But I think it's just our sketches from DTM, which is awesome. Again, if anybody finishes sketches and posts them after the show, which is often the case with these, where people are working during the stream and they get things in like 10 or 15 minutes afterwards, I will still be checking the tag and I will still be retweeting stuff throughout the week as people finish things. So we are coming to a close here. We've got about 2 minutes before we have to go offline. So I'm going to come over here to our dual stream. And why don't you zoom in to yours a little bit, Emmy, and just kind of show off what you worked on so that we can see all of the items. And tell us where everyone can find you on social media if they want to check out this project at a later date.
Awesome. Sounds perfect. So I'm about 3/4 of the way done with my survival island essentials. And so I outlined everything and then was just filling it in with a little bit of I love Fresco's watercolor live brushes. I think they're so cool how they blend together. Sometimes it works. I'm trying to fix the Tivas over there. But so for some of my survival essentials, so to speak, we've got the Fresco Fresca. My preferred comfortable outfit would be this, it's like a mock neck, slouch neck Nike hoodie in this color that I love, as well as leopard print bike shorts and my colorful Tevas. I love all of those. And then I've got my technology that I would most likely not be able to use, but it is what it is. So I've got my iPad. It is seriously, well, like I said, 37 seconds of glory. And then my AirPods, my Apple Pencil. And then I am a huge reader, so I would be bringing a couple books here and there. So that's what I was getting started on. And then some Thai curry. And then the last thing I was going to draw is a tub of ice cream because I love ice cream. And it's probably going to be hot if we're on a deserted island. So ice cream would be the perfect thing to cool us down. So
perfect.
Those are
excellent
my survival essentials.
Yes. And then my survival kit, I've got a lightsaber, I've got a can of off, I've got a goblet because, I don't know, I want to stun on whatever, like, creatures live on that island. I've got a weird sci-fi terraforming pyramid thing that I can use to change the landscape to whatever I feel like. I've got band-aids, I got a toothbrush, and did I say my headphones? I got my headphones. Oh, and a can of off. I can't remember if I didn't go in order. I knew I should have gone in order, but I just jumped around on my page and I can't remember what I said. But those are my survival items. And we are out of time. So thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Emi, for being here with me. It was an absolute pleasure streaming with you. And
Thank you, Val.
we'll see you next time. Adios,
Sounds
everyone.
perfect.
Woo!